Shit!
So out September 21st on 4K Ultra HD from Disney is Unbreakable. So arriving in a regular edition and a Steelbook edition, which is exclusive to Best Buy. This is coming with a standard HDR upgrade, no Dolby Vision, and no Atmos sound either. So this is just a regular old 4K disc, which I'm sure is still an upgrade to the previous Blu-ray and DVD if that's what you had. Now, this is being billed as the Ultimate Collector's Edition, but funny enough, it has the exact same features as the previous Blu-ray. It just had some deleted scenes, it had a making of featurette, some profiles on some leading comic book artists, some first sequence that M. Night Shyamalan had ever put on film before, some sort of a fight sequence that he made as a child. It also comes with the train station sequence storyboards. I'm not sure if anything more is going to be revealed, but I think it's kind of funny to call this Ultimate Anything.
I hope you can keep an open mind.
I did own this previously on DVD. I've never owned this on Blu-ray. This is the DVD. This was a Vista series DVD, which was actually pretty sweet. This had this really nice slide out box, and it had the glass on the front, and it has this art on the inside. As you continue to open this up, there's some pockets here that they've got some other things going on. So this was actually a really cool DVD release back in the day. This doesn't look like it's gonna come with much other than just the standard slipcase on top of this art that isn't so bad. Okay.
Is this truly the ultimate release if this is a trilogy?
No. No, 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 no.
This is not the ultimate release. This is not the ultimate release for me. I mean, I'm interested in upgrading this since I've never purchased this on Blu-ray, and from what I'm reading, the Blu-ray was not the best as far as quality is concerned. So I think there's a lot of people that are wanting to see some level of a picture quality upgrade here. So I'm curious to see it also. But like you mentioned, this is now part of a trilogy many years after the fact, which I feel like sort of sullies the reputation of this film alone. However, why not put this out in a 4K trilogy? Why not put all three of these out simultaneously?
And that's what I was suggesting.
The other two are already out in 4K.
I feel like it's inevitable that's going to happen.
It is. Maybe this is for someone like me who will not buy Split, who will not buy Glass, who does not care about this movie being as part of a trilogy, even though when this movie first came out, that was exactly what M. Night Shyamalan was saying. I want this to be the beginning of the David Dunn story. I want there to be more with this character, but it never materialized. Until one day Split came out and they had this kind of, twist ending where this was in the Unbreakable universe. And I remember people lost their minds. And I was really intrigued to find that out because I didn't see Split and I wasn't planning on watching it. At that point, to me, M. Night Shyamalan's career had been derailed and I wasn't watching another single thing he put out. But to hear that, I was like, wow, I wonder if I would like Split. I wonder if because there was some good marks about Split, but it was interesting to say, okay, where is he going to take this next? Is this character going to be something more? And then Glass came out and, spoiler alert, he drowns in a puddle at the end.
Once again, please.
I heard that ending, and that's the only reason I wanted to watch it. I've never seen it either. I know, it sounds hilarious, and it sounds like the exact thing M. Night Shyamalan would slapstick his way through in this era of his career.
Right. It just sounded so too bad to even consider watching. So I did not go down that route.
Just picture Bruce Willis laying down in a puddle, drowned. That's funny. That's comedy.
You know what's interesting about that is that's actually a scene in the original Unbreakable that fills you with the most dread, where Bruce Willis has finally realized his powers. He finally realizes this is what I'm going to go try to do. I'm going to try to be this guardian, this protector. And he finds this house that's been these people have been kidnapped and held hostage. And that his problem is with water, but they haven't really explored that too much. And then all of a sudden he gets pushed out of a window and lands into the covering of a pool that then sinks in and he's completely wrapped up in that. And that's is a problem for him. And just that feeling of that fucking does sound like it would suck. And then you're going to throw that away with him dying in a puddle? This was his second film. To me, this is my favorite film that he has done, even over Sixth Sense, which I know probably has more critical acclaim.
One sitting here that says Sixth Sense is better.
I also enjoyed Signs. I liked the first half of The Village before it became kind of like a weird Twilight Zone-y kind of a thing. And he always had these twist endings and stuff, even though Signs didn't really have one, but they never felt like a Twilight Zone ending to me. They always kind of felt like an earned twist, whereas The Village was definitely like a Twilight Zone episode to me. I don't know. I really like this one a lot And I don't know why I like this one more than Sixth Sense. I think they're both incredible movies. I do think this one still captures a similar tone and drama, similar family drama, a lot of great acting in it. The tone of it is like sad or something. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It just feels like it's dour. Like everyone, like the whole family's breaking up. They're getting divorced. He's been depressed his whole life because he doesn't really know who he is. And there's just this like feeling of sadness throughout it. And the material itself gets a little darker at the end, but I don't know. It's like blue to me.
I disagree that it's done as well as The Sixth Sense, particularly in the family drama department. I think The Sixth Sense works as well as it does because it is essentially a drama with horror elements in it.
Okay.
I don't think Unbreakable pulls that off at all.
Once again, please.
Now, the props that Unbreakable gets is for being this superhero origin story in disguise, which admittedly is cool. And I do appreciate the way he did it. I also give him a lot of props for doing that at a time where comic book films weren't the norm yet.
At all.
At that time, really no comic book movies that had ever come out, and it was a silly thing to make a movie about. It just felt very confusing, I think, for the studio at that time. So they said, let's not make this a cult subject movie. So let's sell it more as a general thriller. We're never going to mention comic books, superheroes, any of that. So then that meant you couldn't even do the main plot of the movie because that's the plot of the movie. Hey, I think you're a real life superhero. That couldn't be said in the ads. So it was really weird and ironic time that the thing that dominates the film industry now, it was the one thing they were running from and they thought that was the least commercial element of the film. So really, obviously times have changed a great deal.
I get it. A lot of people love it. I certainly don't hate it. I can watch it. I think Sixth Sense was just executed better than this was. And I pretty much think everything after this movie he's done is ultimately a joke.
Absolutely.
As well.
For this movie, going in, it was actually spoiled for me that this was a comic book movie. I saw the trailer, and they don't hint at that at all. And like you said, it's a movie that focuses on comics that all of a sudden at the end becomes a comic book movie. Like you don't even realize that that's the case. And I feel like the way that they use that mic drop moment at the end, kind of like they do with Sixth Sense, there's just this realization that I just watched something that I didn't even realize I was watching. It's like the same thing with The Sixth Sense, that feeling of how they pull that twist off. Yeah. I feel like the Samuel L. Jackson character and even Bruce Willis, who's super video on demand guy now, they were such great counterparts to each other. Samuel L. Jackson giving it his all as this Glass character who, again,
he always gives his all.
Dude, he does. And you don't
now, Bruce Willis, I'd argue, does not give his all. I feel like he's sleepwalking through this movie as he started to do around this time.
Bruce Willis's best performance on film that he's ever given. I think he's absolutely magnificent in the film. What if Superman was here on Earth and didn't know he was Superman? Which is what the film is about. Of course, you don't know that until you see the movie. Anyway, Unbreakable is, I actually think, one of the masterpieces of our time.
Just personal opinions aside, I'm not mad at anybody who would prefer Unbreakable over The Sixth Sense. I'm just filmmaking-wise, I feel like Sixth Sense is tighter. I feel like if you remove that twist ending in The Sixth Sense, you can still watch it as a family drama, as a boy going through something crazy.
Right.
I think if you take out the twist in Unbreakable, you got a whole lot of nothing. Because don't they reveal? Doesn't Bruce Willis know it before you see that part you're talking about?
No,
doesn't the audience know it before we see?
No, that's when you find out. Like he goes and he shakes his hand to say thank you for helping me realize who I am, and that's when he finds out because he's got that power. He realizes that he made all those disasters happen, including the train wreck, all this shit. And it's like I've been trying to find you by killing everyone because I knew someone like you was out there, and you're like,
that is pretty cool.
Take two. That is pretty cool. Russ likes this movie better.
I defended it.
But it was such a surprising movie and that it was such a great follow-up. I don't know. For me, it just solidified it a little bit harder.
It's definitely a great follow-up.
It is.
I will give that 100%.
It's awesome.
100%. It's an excellent follow-up.
It got tainted for me when they put out all these extra ones and they make it part of a trilogy. And again, Bruce Willis probably absolutely phoning it in class, falling asleep in a puddle and dying or whatever the hell happens to him, whatever. As far as the options go, the art here, it's a little dicey. The original regular art with this, the two of them on it, it's about what you'd expect. Then the Steelbook, I don't even know what we're looking at here. It's obviously supposed to be glass shattering, but it's all illustrated. It's smudged looking. It's like someone didn't put the finer details on the finished work. It doesn't even look like Samuel L. Jackson there. I don't know what that is, but it doesn't look good. If you're a fan of Unbreakable, if you're a fan of Sixth Sense, come out and get this thing. It's coming out September 21st. Again, we've talked about, 100 titles coming out in September. So this one as well, coming out September 21st. Come on and get it.